Gerald Celente, publisher of the Trans Journal and regular guest of YouTube channels like Judging Freedom, Redacted, or Canadian Prepper, recently was asked by the Canadian Prepper what advice he would give to young people in these complicated state of affairs in terms of investments or just preparedness in general. So in this video, I want to break down his answer into actionable steps for you to get prepared.
Going on to what you said, what should people do? Get in the best shape you can, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. You're in the fight for your life, and you got to be in the best shape for it. And try to do something positive every day to help anybody that you can in any way that you can. And those that you're working with that do a great job, whether it's doing construction work or doing office work or whatever it might be, and you really appreciate what they're doing, and if you have the money or whatever you can do it to give them more in any way that you can, as little bonuses here and there, do what you can. But again, try to help the people that need the help the most. And again, support peace, because if we don't have peace on earth, it's going to be hell on earth.
So the first point is getting in the best shape you can, and this goes a long way because you can have the best food storage, supply, survival items, all great to have for preparedness, for emergency preparedness, but getting in the best shape you can in various different areas, building skills, building mental toughness, being able to handle stressful situations, like building yourself in the best shape you can, that's preparedness no one can take away. Even if you're losing the backpack with the supplies, if you're out somewhere, if you have the skills and are in good shape, you can deal with a lot of stuff. So getting in the best shape you can, super important. He breaks it down physically, emotionally, spiritually. These three categories, those are just my own ideas for each category, but let's get into it. So losing weight is just such a big topic if you're overweight. Because if you are walking up 1 or 2 levels of stairs and you're out of breath and breaking a sweat, you're probably not in the best shape. And to deal with emergency situations, civil unrest, if you need to escape somewhere quickly, if you need to run a mile, if you're carrying around those extra weights, on your body, it's just tough to do. So do it now while you're in a peaceful situation, right? Prepare yourself, lose weight, get in shape. Conditioning, right? Like, are you able to run a mile or 2 or 3? Are you able to ride a bicycle for a long time? Are you able to hike with a backpack with 10 pounds, 15 pounds of weight, right? So, just prepare for that physically, right? Lifting weights as well, like if you want to carry duffel bags, if you need to carry a child, if you need to carry a pack of water, do you have the strength to do this? Bodyweight exercise is super important. Can you do pull-ups? How many can you do? Can you climb up a wall, right? Can you pull yourself up on a wall with a backpack? Can you lift someone else up, right? Like bodyweight exercises, being able to carry you and another person, like getting physically in this shape goes a long way when you're preparing yourself for emergency situations. Getting emotionally in good shape, what I found is digital detox. In today's times, we spend so much time doom scrolling, short form content, spending time away from screens to not have these short-term dopamine highs, especially directly in the morning, the first 1 or 2 hours of the day. Super important for emotional health. What I found as well is creating action plans. If you are watching YouTube channels like the Canadian Prepper, daily news of doom and gloom. If you're just watching news and emergency news about what's happening in the world, wars and so on, if you're just watching that to emotionally entertain on these topics and you're not creating actionable plans, you're just emotionally getting stressed, worrying, create plans for these scenarios, like really prepare, create prepper plans, to get yourself in good shape in these areas. And really, if you work on an actionable steps and you really check off one preparedness topic after another, like you work towards a brighter future, a prepared future where you are emotionally in a good state because okay, I'm working towards something. Becoming useful, that's something I saw also in the documentary from Arnold Schwarzenegger on Netflix. His father was in the Austrian army in the Second World War and a police officer, and he told him, hey boy, become useful, especially as a man in the world. Like, you need to be useful. You need to help people, provide value, do a good job, and if you do these things, if you're productive, you are also emotionally in a good state. Building resilience, super important emotionally. Being able to deal with stressful situations, performing under pressure. These things, if you prepare these already now, helps a lot in catastrophe situations. Spiritually, I'm not an expert on this topic. For me, it helped. I started reading the Bible, my New Believers Beginner Bible, like 3-4 months ago. Helps a lot. For some people, it's meditation. Going into nature is always good. My girlfriend recently started planting a garden. I mean, we don't have a garden, but we started on the window shelves, some tomatoes. Growing some plants, also helps spiritually. Also helps to prepare, right? Growing your own food is a great thing. So these are the 3 categories for preparing, getting in the best shape possible in these 3 areas. So the second one is do something positive every day to help anybody that you can in any way that you can. So while I was a Boy Scout in Germany in my youth, we basically had this saying, jeden Tag eine gute Tat, which basically means every day a good deed. If you do one positive thing every day to help someone, it goes a long way to make the world a better place. Positive thing to help anyone in any way that you can. Just some ideas, giving to people in need. I know that when you're walking to your job, maybe headphones on, you see some homeless people, it's easy to ignore. Also, maybe you're thinking, hey, if I would give them some money, do they just use it in drugs or alcohol? So it's hard to give to people on the street sometimes, but when there's the same old man that you see every day when you go to walk, he's on the same corner and it's like an older person. Yeah, especially in the winter, like there's a picture here, like if they're out in the snow, like there's people dying, living on the street in the cold, like just freezing. So if you can, giving them an extra blanket, buying a hot coffee or tea, giving to people in need, like especially older people who are out there. Just think about it. Just think about what you can do to give to people in need. The other thing here, I don't expect you to stand in the street with a sign of free hugs, but like treating people nicely, especially in today's time with social media and like road rage or arguments in the supermarket over the last discounted item. Especially social media fuels this a lot. But just try to remind yourself, everyone has their own stressful times, and even if the person is like nasty to you, just be kind to them in return. Like, you would be surprised how easy you can de-escalate situations. Like, hey, I'm sorry, just being humble. And even if you're really convinced that the other person was wrong and you were in the right, just be humble and just say, hey, I'm sorry if I did something wrong, let's de-escalate the situation here. Let's try to talk nicely. It's such a big topic, especially in today's times with everything going on. Just try to, give to people who need it and treat people nicely. That's just my 2 cents. Another big topic, right? Supporting people you're working with. So this goes a long way in various different scenarios. If you are a boss, if you have your own business, giving out little bonuses, right? Like giving, even if it's just like buying a box of donuts for your team, like even if you're a team manager, you're not actually the boss. Like in the summer, just buying some ice cream for everyone, just these little things, already really nice, it really helps to motivate people. But also giving out bonuses. If you have this employee who's working really hard all the time, always showing up on time, just giving them some bonuses for the birthday, for Christmas, maybe even if it's just $100 one time or so, like little bonuses goes a long way. So think about what you can do. Tipping delivery people, these guys, they're out here delivering food for us, on their scooters, on their bicycles, day and night. Doesn't matter the weather, in the snow, in the rain, they're out here doing a hard job. I remember during COVID, when we were all quarantined, had to stay at home. I was lucky. I was working from home, from the laptop. So it was easy to handle. But, like they were out here and I ordered the food and they delivered, even in tough conditions. So I can do it more as well. I need to remind myself to keep some cash at home or do it in the app, to tip delivery people. They're doing a hard job, they're working really hard and I think they deserve more. Helping your neighbors, such a big topic as well. So many times, like neighbors having a fight, like, oh, the plant is growing over on my property line. Sometimes it's just these little things that get people going and nasty with each other and creating some fights and arguments that last for years. And it was such a small topic. But if there's a catastrophe situation, government down, supply chains break down, like who are the people who can really help each other, who are directly in your community, in your area? It's your neighbors, So like treating your neighbors nicely, saying hello, helping them out, bringing them over some cake that you baked. So, helping out your neighbors. Just be nice to your neighbors, It's such a nice thing and good thing to do. So the next one I have, step 4, helping people that need the help the most. So of course, great helping your neighbors, engaging, volunteering in the community. But helping the people that need it the most. So here, just some ideas. Volunteering in your community, exactly. Handing food out to homeless people, to unemployed people, especially the young and the older, they need the help the most. Supporting underprivileged kids. Those are just some stock images here, but you get the gist, right? Like, how can you really help the people that need it the most? I think often supporting, kids who are growing up without parents, super tough life, being able to support them. If you have some old toys that you can give away to organizations that, doing some donations, volunteering yourself, just some ideas. I'm not an expert on this topic, but I think, we all can do better in these areas. And it's an important topic. The last thing, supporting peace. I'm really not an expert on this. Like, how can we support peace? I mean, with all the war situations going on, Israel, Gaza, Ukraine, Russia, I think always supporting peace. Like, of course, there's some topics where I'm just not the expert and delivering weapons so people can defend their own country. But I think what is always most important is ceasefires. Like, who's really out there from all the politicians who's really calling for ceasefires, who really want to, simply stop the dying, stop the killing, stop the bombing, People need to come down together again, sit at tables and negotiate. And of course, as politicians, and that's why they're elected, to do tough jobs, to do these tough negotiations. There's so many different factors that go in each of these worldwide scenarios. But we just need peace on this earth, exactly like he said in the video. If we don't have peace on earth, we have hell on earth, And let me know in the comments below what you think. Like, what are the things we can do to support peace? Of course, there's organizations, donations, writing letters to politicians. I don't know how effective these are, but I think so many times there's like elites or governments, it's like these from the Troy movie, where Achilles says, wouldn't it be nice to see a day where the kings are fighting against each other, like they're fighting their own wars, Like, I don't have a problem with normal Russian citizens. Like, everyone just cares about their own topics, right? They just want like good education, stable job, good food, good prosperity and future for their children. The normal everyday citizens, they don't care about these situations. I met Russians, I met Ukrainians, my girlfriend is Ukrainian, right? I lived in Ukraine for a while. Like, I don't have a problem with Russian population, but like so many times people get so angry and so hateful, and I think supporting peace is just such a important topic. Like, we need to stop these wars and have ceasefires. I don't know, I'm just rambling on. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Supporting peace, what are the things we as normal citizens can do? And yeah.